After exploring the city of Phnom Penh for a couple of days, it was time to head to my next destination, SIEM REAP. The reason why I wanted to visit SIEM REAP is obvious: Angkor Wat, the biggest temple complex in the world. To get to SIEM REAP, I took a 6-hour shuttle van from the Cambodian capital. So let's begin the journey in Phnom Penh. Hello. Check out, please. Alright, welcome to SIEM REAP. We are here at the hotel, and yeah, it's a pretty nice, chill hotel, a bit outside of town. And I think today I'm just gonna have a chill day because I already spent 7 hours on the bus coming here. And yeah, I will show you more of SIEM REAP in the coming days, and especially the reason why we came here, Angkor Wat. So see you then. Morning. Now it's 7 AM and today we're gonna go on our first exploration of Angkor Wat. But first things first, let's get breakfast. Hello. Hi. Morning. Breakfast is over there on the left. Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Alright, breakfast done. Now it's time to go see Angkor Wat. Let's go. Before we head to the site of Angkor Wat, it's important to talk about its founders, the mighty Khmer Empire. Established in the 9th century, the Khmer Empire grew into a mighty superstate. At its largest extent, it covered most of Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam and some parts of China. The period that we're mostly interested in is the 12th century, when the Khmers built Angkor Wat. Construction of the 1.6 square kilometer or 402 acre large site was ordered by a king called Surya Varma II. Originally, it was a Hinduist temple dedicated to the deity of Vishnu. Over time, it was converted into a Buddhist temple. So let's go visit this astounding World Heritage site. For my first day at Angkor, I decided to join a group tour. So now we are at the entrance gate. We are not inside the actual temple complex yet, but we already get a glimpse of the Angkor Wat temple, the main one, which is in the distance over there. And it looks very small because it's very far away. And now we're actually going to enter the main temple complex. So let's go. Now we are walking over this new bridge here, over the lake, to get to the actual temples. And yeah, the guy just gave us some really good explanations, and I'm just going to give you guys the explanations of what Angkor Wat is in very, very brief terms. As you saw in my little intro, the Khmer Empire was a very powerful empire in this region of the world, and they built the Angkor Wat complex. Now, in the 9th century, the Khmer Empire started to become powerful, but they were at their peak in the 12th century when they built this huge temple complex. And at that point in time, they were Hindu. So these temples were actually Hindu because one of the people from the Khmer Empire married an Indian prince. So it was a queen actually who married an Indian prince, and that's how Hinduism came to Cambodia. And so Angkor Wat was Hindu originally, but then it became Buddhist later. Another important thing to know is that Angkor Wat was also the tomb of the kings. However, because it was abandoned long before anybody was interested in archaeology, the remains were never found. So nobody really knows where they are, the remains of the Khmer kings, but they were supposedly buried here at Angkor Wat. So yeah, this building over there, this main temple, that's the image you always have of Angkor Wat, and that is the main Angkor Wat temple. But Angkor Wat is all of this stuff actually. It's the complex that is called Angkor Wat, but this is the most famous one, the most famous building, and it is gorgeous even from so far away. And we saw it before from the other side of the lake, and that just shows how big it is, that you can see it from so far away. And now we're gonna go get closer and see it from up close. And everybody here in Siem Reap has been complaining that there are no tourists and that they closed down the country for 2 years. And yeah, they said that now we are in a period with, you know, not a lot of tourists, but it is still quite crowded here. So to be honest, I don't even want to imagine what this place is like during a normal year, like 2023 maybe. So if you want to come here, I would suggest coming here as soon as possible, because the tourists are gonna come back and it's gonna be absolutely full. Because even now it's not full, it's not overcrowded, but there are still quite a lot of tourists here. So it's not empty, and the people in Siem Reap are saying that it's empty, but it's not. So I don't even want to imagine what their definition of crowded is.
1, 2, and 3.
Here is our Instagram spot. It's actually a really nice place for pictures, and I'll actually put those pictures into the video now. And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at JackRoaming if you want to, and see places like this, Angkor Wat. It's magnificent. So this right here is the sunrise spot. This is where people come to watch the sunrise, and I will definitely do that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, because you know my ticket is valid for 2 entrances. But yeah, now we have done a lot of pictures, we have done a few photo sessions, but now it's time to go into the main Angkor Wat temple. So here we have a pool, which is empty now of course, but there are actually 4 pools, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these pools, they were for the people to cleanse themselves before praying. And the 4 pools actually represent the 4 elements: fire, water, air and earth. Now we are in the courtyard of the second highest point of the main temple here, and yeah, this just looks absolutely stunning. So you see it from far away, and from far away it already looks really nice, and with the colors and with the reflections in the pictures and stuff, but it's much bigger than you imagine. So Angkor Wat is the biggest temple site in the world, and this right here is the biggest temple inside Angkor Wat. And actually we are now sort of in the middle of this whole building. It's very hard to explain. It's hard for me to convey just how massive this Angkor Wat main temple is. So this part right here of the temple, that was the part where the kings were praying. So that's why it's the grandest and most lavish building. And actually what I was just told is that Angkor Wat was never completed. So that's why it's not as ornate as other places. So basically there aren't as many decorations, statues and stuff, because first of all many of them were looted and stolen during the Civil War and then sold on the black market in, you know, all around the world. But that's one reason. The second reason is that Angkor Wat was never really fully completed, because the king who wanted to get it done, he died before it could get done. And so that's why it's a bit less ornate than other temples. Now we are gonna go up to the highest point here, and there's some kind of extra entrance.
3 or 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, we have almost made it, and they call this right here the heaven, because it's the highest point of Angkor Wat. So let's see. So there's basically nothing in here. It's not really decorated, but I'm pretty sure that the view will be fantastic. Let's go check it out. So I was saying that there aren't many decorations. Well, here they are. I was definitely wrong. They just didn't finish them, I guess, because these walls in there, they're all a bit empty. But then here you have all these pictures of goddesses, I suppose. And yeah, here we have the inner courtyard of the highest point of the main temple of Angkor Wat. There it is. That's the temple that you see from the distance. Yeah, this place is something else. I mean, I've seen a lot of temples, I have to say. Ayutthaya and some other temples in Thailand and in other countries as well, in Vietnam. But this right here, this trumps them all. And here we have the view. Wow. You can see the temples. This right here is actually the king who built Angkor Wat. And his name is Surya Varman II. I hope I pronounced that even a little bit correctly. And here he's asking an astrologist for advice. So basically he has to ask the astrologist whether he should go to war or whether he should run the kingdom differently. And that's what this carving depicts. That is the god of the hell. What's his name?
Jama.
Jama. And he punishes you if you do something bad like corruption or adultery or lying. What else? All these things.
Eating too much.
Eating too much.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're gonna burn very hot steel to put inside the body.
Yeah.
For punishment.
Really? Okay. So.
Those who keep eating, non-stop.
Okay.
Even feeling enough, keep eating,
Okay.
Then all very hot irons gonna be burned and then put inside the body for punishment.
And when you lie, you get the tongue cut off.
Tongue get chopped off. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the punishments that you get here in Hindu temples. So that was the main Angkor Wat temple, and I'm obviously gonna come back here because I got the 2-day ticket and I want to see the sunrise as well. But yeah, I have to say this temple is absolutely magnificent. So I've seen quite a few temples and this is number one. Even in terms of ruin sites, I guess you could compare some of the Egyptian sites, maybe Petra in Jordan, but even in terms of just ruin sites in general, this is up there. So yeah, if you are in this part of the world, come and see Angkor Wat, because it is the most stunning temple you will ever see. Now we've done a lot of walking today. We started at 8 AM and it's now 1 PM and we've been exploring temples the whole morning, and now finally we're gonna go get some food. So this right here is called chicken amok, and it is chicken with some kind of spicy sauce with coconut milk. So let's try it out. Oh, thank you. Very, very delicious. It's actually a bit like Thai food, and she gave me some extra chili because I like chili. So let's try it with the chili now. Yeah, this food is very tasty. Very, very tasty. I think this is the best food I've had in Cambodia so far. Now we have made it to another temple called Promh, and yeah, this is part of the Angkor Wat complex, but it's actually probably 10 minutes by car from the main Angkor Wat temple. That's just how big this complex is. And this temple, you might remember Tomb Raider, the movie in the year 2000. This is where they filmed Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. That's the actual temple. Alright, so this is the actual Tomb Raider spot. This is where Angelina Jolie was. And yeah, the guide's in the background. You can see all the people there. This is a bit YouTube versus reality. Now I'm annoying the people here because they're all waiting to take their pictures. So let me just step into the temple here.
The most famous tree in the world.
The most famous tree in the world, as the guide there just said. So yeah, let me just walk through this temple here. So yeah, here we have some more temples. And yeah, I remember the movie, but not as vividly as other people, to be honest. And this was obviously the original Tomb Raider. I know that they did a new one. But yeah, this temple here is mostly famous because Tomb Raider was shot here, because it's obviously much smaller than the main Angkor Wat temple. See, this girl over there is making an Instagram reel. I mean, this temple is really cool and it's very, very beautiful, but it's also an Instagram photo session. And you know, I'm guilty of that myself because I'm vlogging here, but every second person here is making a reel or Instagram photos. I just ask myself, what were these places like before people had smartphones? Now we stopped here for our next temple visit, and on the road to the temple we have these guys. This guy is just chilling there. So I was warned not to bring my bag because there might be food inside, but I'm pretty sure I have no food inside. Otherwise they would have already attacked me. There they are. Oh, there's one. There's one running across the street. And there's a lot more here. These are smaller actually. Monkey family. Wow, he's pulling his tail. Look. Why is he pulling his tail? I think he does not give a damn about my camera. Monkeys don't seem to mind. Wow, look, this one is getting pulled across the street. Why did he pull each other with the tail? And now he's sitting on top of him or her. This might actually be a female monkey. I'm not really sure. Now we have made it to another highly impressive temple. Look at this one. This one is called Bayon and it has 54 towers. And these 54 towers represent the 54 states of the Khmer Empire. And yeah, you know, if you are from the Western world, you might not know much about the Khmer Empire, but it was one of the most advanced civilizations in Asia, as you can see here. And this temple was actually never completed because the kings that built it were too busy fighting wars against other kingdoms. And that is true. And yeah, so it was never fully finished, but it's also a pretty astounding building and an example of Khmer architecture. I mean, Angkor Wat, you know, when they say it's the biggest temple complex in the world, it sounds like it's exaggerated, but I can tell you this, it isn't. It is just so massive. You have so many temples, and it's now 4 p.m. We've been exploring temples since 8 a.m. this morning. We had a 45-minute lunch break, and this place just keeps giving, and there are more and more temples everywhere, and we have only done a fraction of it. After the Bayon temple, you join me in a forest. Now it's 5:30 p.m. and the sun sets at around 6:15, and we're now gonna ascend to the top of a mountain because apparently you have the best sunset view there. So yeah, that's gonna be epic, but I have to say I'm pretty knackered. So we have been exploring temples from 8 a.m. this morning till right now 5:30, 5:45. And yeah, this tour really includes a lot of stops and they were all worth it. I mean, I definitely recommend this tour, this full day Angkor tour, but it's very tiring because you do a lot of walking. I'm not sure how much walking we did, but I would say at least 10 kilometers. So yeah, you're gonna feel tired after that. This is SIEM REAP, and I just found out that the actual Angkor Wat temple is over there in the distance, and I don't think you can see it with this camera in this perspective, but I'm gonna take the other camera and then show you some footage of Angkor Wat zoomed in from here. Yeah, so this isn't the most beautiful sunset in the world, but still, you know, it was well worth coming up here and having a look at this temple with the sunset. And yeah, this is actually the end of our first day of exploring Angkor. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and see the sunrise, and then I'll see you guys there. For the next 2 days, the weather looked like this. As such, I had to wait 48 hours to go back to Angkor Wat for the sunrise. Morning, it's now 4:55 a.m. and we're gonna head to Angkor Wat once more to see the sunrise. It has been raining quite a bit, so I'm not sure what this sunrise will be like, but yeah, let's go and have a look. Yes, are inside the temple complex of Angkor Wat, and I'm here with my phone light because the whole site is just completely underwater. I'm not sure how much you can see that, but it has been raining quite a lot over the past few days, and that's why I don't know how good or bad this sunrise will be, because it looks a bit cloudy. But over there's a bit of light, and on the other side there is the sunrise point. I'm pretty sure you can't see that on camera, so I'll have to wait until the sun rises a little bit. So here we are, that is Angkor Wat at sunrise. Now it was very cloudy and has been raining for quite a while. And as you can see, it's really grey, but still the sunrise was beautiful, and I hope that the pictures actually also showcase that beauty. But yeah, I got up at 4:30 this morning, so now I'm gonna go back to the hotel and get breakfast. Now we are leaving the main temple site here. We are on this plastic bridge pontoon that goes over the lake, and there we have the walls of the main Angkor Wat complex. And yeah, my conclusions on Angkor Wat, it has been really amazing, and I would say that Angkor Wat is definitely the most beautiful temple site in Asia, and I've seen quite a few temple sites in Asia, but Angkor Wat is number one. And yeah, let me put it this way, I would say that it is worth coming to Cambodia just for Angkor Wat, and I would not say that of any other temple. But Angkor Wat is just so big and so unique and so beautiful that, you know, it warrants a visit to Cambodia. So yeah, this is the end of my Angkor Wat exploration. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.